There's a kind of wisdom you can only get from being in the trenches, right? From actually playing the game. And when it comes to the world of finance, almost nobody played the game harder than the legend himself, Jesse Livermore.
So let's get into it. What we're doing today is taking the absolute core lessons from Tony Turner's incredible book on short-term trading. Think of this as your roadmap, your guide for getting started in one of the most challenging and, let's be honest, rewarding games on the entire planet.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with why the market is just so darn captivating. Then we'll do a quick time travel through its history. After that, we get practical, how to set up your trading like a real business. Then comes the big one, wrestling with the psychology that drives literally everything. And we'll wrap it all up with a story that, well, it might just change how you see your own potential.
To really get a feel for the market, you can't just see it as a bunch of numbers and blinking charts. You have to understand its personality. And trust me, it's a very, very complicated one. And this quote from the book just nails it, doesn't it? The market isn't some machine you operate. Nope, it's an active partner in this crazy, high-stakes relationship. It's seductive, it demands your full attention, and it definitely demands your respect.
I mean, there are days when the market feels like it's your best friend, right? Every single move you make turns to gold, it's generous, it rewards you, and it makes you feel like an absolute genius.
And then, boom, out of nowhere, it turns on you. The exact same strategies that were working yesterday get crushed today. It becomes this irritable, harsh, unpredictable beast that seems to love proving you wrong. And this is the part you really gotta get. The market is completely, 100% indifferent to you. It doesn't care that you need money for a mortgage. It doesn't care if you're on cloud 9 from a big win. It's a force of nature, and your feelings, they're totally irrelevant. So, this wild character, where did it even come from? Let's take a quick look back and trace its roots, from what was literally a path for cows to the electronic nerve center of the entire global economy.
It's a pretty wild evolution when you think about it. It started way back with companies like the Dutch East India Company needing to raise money. And then you have the beginning of the New York Stock Exchange, where brokers were literally meeting under a tree. Of course, disasters like the Great Crash forced us to create regulations, to create the SEC to protect people. Then technology steps in, with NASDAQ and electronic trading. But the real earthquake? The internet. That's what blew the doors off the whole thing, and turned it from an exclusive club into something you can access from your kitchen table.
Now, being able to access it from your kitchen table, that's a double-edged sword. To survive, you have to treat trading with the exact same seriousness you'd give to starting a new company. This is a business. It is not a hobby, and it's definitely not the lottery. This part right here is absolutely non-negotiable. Before you even think about risking a single dollar, you need a plan. And not just a vague idea in your head, I mean a physical, written-down plan. Just the act of putting it on paper forces you to create structure and discipline. And believe me, those are your best weapons when things get chaotic. So what's in the plan? Well, it boils down to 4 pillars. First, be real with yourself about your time commitment. Are you doing this full-time or part-time? Second, and this one is crucial, where is your capital coming from? Third, set up a dedicated office space, even if it's just a corner of a room where you can focus. And finally, you've got to research and choose the right broker for you. Okay, let's zoom in on that capital step, because it brings up maybe the single most important concept for any new trader: scared money. This is the money you need. It's your rent money, your grocery money, your kid's college fund. The capital in your business plan has to be high-risk funds. Money that, if it went poof tomorrow, it would sting, but it wouldn't fundamentally wreck your life. If you trade with scared money, every little dip in the market feels like the end of the world, and you'll make terrible decisions based purely on fear. It's a recipe for absolute disaster.
So, once your business is set up, the real work begins. And that work doesn't happen on your computer screen. It happens right between your ears. The biggest war you'll ever fight in trading isn't against the market, it's against your own mind.
First up, let's learn the local language. You've heard people talk about bulls and bears. It's a simple idea, but it's super powerful. Bulls want the market to go up, just like a bull thrusts its horns up. Bears want the market to go down, just like a bear swipes its paws down. You've got these two powerful forces, always locked in a struggle.
So what's pulling the strings on these bulls and bears? It's 2 of the most primal emotions we have: greed and fear. Greed makes you chase a stock that's already skyrocketing because you have this intense fear of missing out. It hijacks your brain. And fear? Fear is just as bad. Psychologically, a loss hurts about twice as much as a win feels good. This makes us panic and sell a good position way too early,
Or even worse, it makes us freeze up and hold on to a losing trade, just hoping it'll come back. Learning to control these two emotions isn't just part of the game, it is the game.
So how in the world do you conquer greed and fear? You stop picking a team. Like Livermore said, you don't pledge your allegiance to being a bull or a bear. You just commit to one thing, being on the right side. That means you're objective, you're looking at the facts, and you adapt to what the market is actually doing, not what you wish it were doing.
And that brings us to the core philosophy, the big one. The market is always right. Your ego is hands down the most expensive thing you can bring with you into trading. Arguing with the market, trying to make it do what you want, is like trying to argue with a hurricane. You don't fight a hurricane, you respect its power, you understand its patterns, and you learn to move with it.
Okay, so we know that mastering the market really means mastering yourself. There's a final story in the book that just beautifully illustrates this whole journey of self-discovery.
The story goes like this. It's 1957 in Thailand. A group of monks has this huge, incredibly heavy clay statue of the Buddha that they need to move. It's an ancient, priceless artifact.
As they're moving it, a huge crack appears in the clay. So they stop, worried they've damaged it. But later that night, one young monk just can't shake his curiosity. He grabs a flashlight and goes to take a closer look at that crack.
And as he shines his light inside the dark crack, he sees something glimmer. Something is reflecting the light back at him. So he finds the hammer and chisel, and very carefully, he starts to chip away at the plain, dull clay on the outside.
And as the clay starts falling away, this unbelievable secret is revealed. The statue wasn't made of clay at all. Underneath all that plain covering was a magnificent, solid gold Buddha. Its real, incredible value had been hidden for centuries to protect it from being stolen by invaders.
And that story just perfectly captures the journey of a trader, doesn't it? We all start out covered in a kind of clay. Our fears, our ego, our bad habits, the beliefs that hold us back. Becoming a successful trader is really just the process of chipping all of that clay away to reveal the disciplined, objective, and truly valuable person underneath. So the question to leave you with is this: what clay is hiding your golden potential?